Data governance is so important in today's society and in the evolution that we're seeing right now in the use of technology. Data is an asset, and just like a financial asset, data needs to be accounted for. And although I think from a policy perspective, regulators and academics and other experts have been arguing that data governance is critically important for years, now we're seeing the requirements for data governance in laws at the state level in the US, for example, and certainly with the EU AI law. So data governance means that a company has to stand ready to account for its data assets. And that's becoming so important to compliance, but also important to support innovation and the use of that data. My current view of where we are with data regulations and data governance is that it is undergoing a transformation. So I think in previous years, the focus of data governance was on compliance, was on a minimal level of compliance with regulation or standards. And now we actually see that it's a more strategic focus. So data governance is really about protecting data and the responsible use of data and being able to prove that an organization is doing the right thing, but also that the CEO of a company, the head of a public body, the boards responsible can see that there's support for facilitating the responsible use of data. So we really see an evolution from strict compliance with laws and standards to really a strategic focus on how we can get the most out of our data. And in doing so, it needs to be managed responsibly. I've been talking and writing about the challenges of data governance in the years to come by really focusing on what I see as a need for a renaissance of the privacy profession. And when I was in Venice at the conference, of course, I was thinking about the Renaissance buildings that we were in, but there needs to be a renaissance of the profession. And that really means that we are going to have to build new skills, and there is a skills gap. Our focus on data and data protection and fundamental rights needs to be expanded to include societal implications of the use of data, the economic value of data. So I do think that the privacy profession needs to expand in order to really take care of data and also support the growth and innovation that we see that society expects. So we need to change, and it's fundamental change, and therefore the challenges is in skills gap and educational gap. And maybe the privacy profession needs a confidence boost as well to take on a stretch role. So the kind of international cooperation and dialogue that we saw at the Venice Symposium, I think was exceptional. And it's certainly a conference that I will attend in the future. But why is international dialogue and cooperation so important? Well, from a regulator's perspective, because I was the Information Commissioner of the UK, and I now am the board chair of the Data Protection Authority in Jersey in the Channel Islands. So I believe that international collaboration and cooperation among regulators was hugely important, and the Global Privacy Assembly has taken some great strides in the development of that dialogue. But without that, we are going to see fragmented approaches to data governance and data protection around the world. And I think in the midst of the geopolitical tensions that we see in our world right now in the Middle East, with Russia and Ukraine and elsewhere in the world, this dialogue is more important than ever. And there could be and there should be a coming together around people's rights and how they're protected. So data governance standards are critically important, and we need to keep this dialogue going and find ways to connect the dots around the world. I think the importance of the Venice Symposium is really that the dialogues were at a advanced level, the discussions were at an advanced level, and that actually allowed us to do a deep dive into, I think, some of the most challenging aspects of data governance today. I was on a panel, an honor to be there to speak about the tensions around secondary uses of data in an AI world. And the value of that session, and I had many positive comments, was that we were able to go really deeply. And so it's a broad set of topics, but we get to explore them in depth and hear experts from the commercial side, from government authorities, as well as academics. So I did think that the expansion this year, I saw more global companies and commercial speakers at the conference than in previous years, but it was like a master class, I think, in data governance, and I'll certainly be returning again. Well, in my own work, I work as an international consultant advisor to the global law firm Baker McKenzie. And in that role, I really deal with advisory services, both on children's privacy and online harms. That's one of my areas of focus, but also on AI and other technologies and the governance that needs to be put in place around them. So I want to keep helping organizations do the right thing and build out their compliance and governance programs. That's a priority. And, as chair of the Jersey Data Protection Authority, I'm really helping that small agency grow. And I'm excited to do that. And that authority also has a real focus on children's rights and online harms. And that's always going to be my premier topic. And, because I think it's all about the kids at the end of the day and getting that right. So those are my priorities, my personal priorities for the next year. Messages that I would like to share for my colleagues who attended the conference and others that see this interview. So my message is, after 27 years in privacy, 15 years as a regulator, there's never been a better time to be in data protection and privacy. Our issues, the issues that we grapple with, are no longer behind the scenes or backroom matters. Privacy and data protection sit at the intersection between society, law, and technology. And these issues matter and people care. So the spotlight is now on data protection professionals and academics, and it's a very exciting time to be in the field.